911, what is your emergency?
I need an ambulance immediately.
Sir, you sound a little groggy or confused. Can you tell me exactly what is wrong?
I just woke up and my bed is soaked in blood. I feel really weak.
Okay, sir, I need you to stay with me. Are you in any pain?
Yes, and it is only in one spot.
Okay, sir, remain calm for me. Where are you hurting?
Oh my God! Ah!
Sir, calm down. What is wrong?
The blood and pain. It's in my crotch. My penis is missing. Ah!
Sir, look around you. Where are you? Can you describe your surroundings?
Yes, I'm in my bedroom. There's a small metal tray sitting on the nightstand. It has what looks like a curved needle, thread, some sort of spray disinfectant, and a scalpel.
Okay, sir, let me confirm your address and I'll send police and rescue. Do not try to move or you may further hurt yourself, okay?
Yes, ma'am. I live at... My bedroom's on the second floor. Please, hurry. I feel woozy.
Sir? Sir, are you still with me? Yes, ma'am. Hi, my name is Alice. I am the wife of the man that called you. He is currently unable to answer right now as it looks like the sedative I gave him finally started working again. What do you mean? Miss, can you tell me what exactly is going on here? My husband and I share our house with a female friend of ours. I work nights at the hospital in the operating room. I am a surgeon there and tend to work a lot of hours away from my husband. Yes, ma'am, but why is your husband lying in a pool of his own blood, missing his manhood? Oh, that... You see, I have had a sneaky suspicion for over a month now that my dear husband was cheating on me with that tramp of a roommate. I tried setting him down on 3 separate occasions to voice my suspicions, but he always assured me nothing was wrong. Tell me, dear, have you ever had your woman's intuition tell you something and you knew for an absolute fact it was true? Yes, but... Exactly. So you understand I had to make sure I was right? 2 weeks ago, I had security cameras installed without him noticing, and within a couple of days, I had all the proof I needed. You mean? Yes, ma'am. He would wait until about an hour after I left for work and would pull her into our bedroom. He defiled our marriage and was kissing her all night while I was gone. She would always sneak out of the room about an hour before I was due home and be back in her room when I got there. Ma'am, I am so sorry he did that to you. I did not just cut it off. I made sure that I did it with the most delicate of surgical precision. I administered a strong sedative to him after he laid down in bed, and once he was out cold, I went to work. I saved it, though. I kept it in a cooler of ice, just in case he woke up and called for help. Wow, I have no words for this. I loved my husband and cooked meals for him that I knew absolutely nothing about, but did so because I loved him every day. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him and have kids with him, but he ruined it all. What about the other woman? She lives there too, right? Oh, do not worry about her. I made sure she did not wake up during the surgery. See, I made sure my plans for her were done about a week ago. My husband thought she was on a trip, and he never thought once to look in her room for her. After all, why would he? Especially after he read the letter that I wrote in her handwriting. Can you tell me if your husband is still conscious, ma'am? Oh, yes, but with the sedative I gave him, he will probably sleep like a baby until your ambulances and police arrive. The surgery on him went well, though. I consider it some of my best work, especially given all the fine nerve endings and the high concentration of blood vessels. Are you okay, ma'am? Dear, I have never felt better. I was mad at first. He was my high school sweetheart. We went to the same college together, and as soon as we both had graduated, he proposed. I loved that man more than life itself. That's what made his betrayal of our love so painful. I see. My mother used to tell me when I was a kid to always listen to my intuition, since a woman's intuition is never wrong. Girl, she was right. I still cannot believe that he would turn his back on our love. I understand your pain, but why not just divorce him? Men nowadays never seem to be held to the same standards that we are as women. A woman cheats on her husband and she is branded a whore. A man cheats and it's just treated like business as usual. It is not fair. I understand that, but castration? Yes. You see, so many times men get away with stuff like this, and we are expected as women to keep putting up with it over and over like a punching bag. I had to make sure that he learned the hard way that it does not pay to go through life thinking with his penis and not his head. So I eliminated it from the equation. I see. Don't patronize me like that. Have you ever had a man cheat on you? Yes, ma'am, but that is not important here. Well, I hear the boys in blue coming up the driveway now. Let me go wash my hands and greet them at the door. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful night. Ma'am? Ma'am?
The caller was rushed to the hospital nearby, and the doctors and surgeons were able to reattach his severed appendages. His wife willingly surrendered herself to the police. It was noted in the police reports and in her statement that the wife was very cold in her demeanor, almost emotionless. The only time she showed anything was when she discussed the surgery and her pride in her handiwork. The roommate was not found in the home, and as of now, police are unsure of her current status. The lesson to be learned from this? Men, treat your wife well and never cheat, or else your woman may exact her own pound of flesh in revenge. Snip, snip. I've lived in the same small town my entire life. The population hasn't risen in probably 5 years, and we only have one school, a few spotlights and churches, and the majority of people live in the rurals. I didn't realize how remote everything was until I became a 911 dispatcher. The office for our county emergency center was actually in the back part of a cozy coffee cafe. I didn't even have to apply for the job. My mom was a dispatcher before me, and since there isn't exactly a line of people trying to do this, I was picked without even an interview. We have one ambulance that handles the entire area, and to be honest, until the incident, I didn't think that was an issue. Our 2 paramedics, Parker and Thomas, were in the front drinking their morning coffee and relieving the night crew as I walked in. I could tell from the night crew's sleepy expressions that not much had occurred during the last 12 hours. I grabbed breakfast and checked the weather outside. It was a little drizzly, and I knew we might get a few calls about animals getting out of their pens or trees falling on power lines. The call that started things rolling came right after I took a restroom break. 911, what is your emergency? I asked the caller. There was heavy breathing on the other side of the line. Our equipment in this small county is old, so I couldn't just check to see where the call originated. I had no idea what to expect, but the silence and strangeness immediately put me on edge. Someone is trying to get inside my house. I think they're trying to kill me, the voice said. It sounded like a woman. I asked for her age and name as I snapped for Parker and Thomas to wake up from their nap. That doesn't matter right now, does it? Just send help! I got the address and asked them if we should send police or an ambulance. The woman sounded injured, so Parker and Thomas left. I told her I would stay on the line with her, but she mysteriously hung up. Much like I didn't have GPS to trace the call, our system also prevented me from bypassing when a person blocked their number, and for some reason this caller had done that. Thankfully, I was able to use the address and Google it. I called them back, getting a man. Hello? He sounded tired. Sir, this is 911. I believe we just got disconnected. What? No one called 911. We were asleep. I double-checked and told them the address we had been given. He confirmed he'd lived there for nearly 4 months. I used the walkie-talkie to get in touch with Parker and Thomas. I apologized as I got off the phone with the homeowner, a bit confused as I tried to figure out why the first caller had given a bad number. We're going to check houses in the area and make sure everything is okay, Parker told me. But I couldn't help feel this was going to get worse, and it did. Another call came in an hour later, the same heavy breathing. This time it sounded like an old man. I fell down the stairs. I need help. Please hurry, he said in a ragged voice. Like before, I got the address and told my paramedics to hurry to his location. I told them to stay on the line, and this time I heard another voice in the background. Is someone else there? I asked. Somewhere else, the voice parroted back. I was surprised how much it sounded like my own voice. Then the line went dead. A feeling of dread overwhelmed me as I waited to hear from Parker and Thomas. Somehow I knew that when they got there, They were going to report it was a false alarm. Someone is pulling our leg and wasting our resources, Thomas said over the walkie-talkie. What do we do? I asked. Then we got another call. This time it was normal. A woman saying she saw someone just get shot. I got the address and looked at the county map. That's almost the exact opposite direction of where you're at now, I said in confusion. They hung up and drove there immediately. Another call came in, the same heavy breathing. I was beginning to realize that whoever was on the other end of the line had a sick mind. I need help, they said in a soft voice. It was a gimmick. They were pretending to sound like a voice. What is your emergency? I asked, trying to remain calm as I looked at the map. Already someone had been killed. Were they deliberately trying to misdirect 911 every time they called? They gave me an address and promised they would stay on the line, but I had to put them on hold because I got another call. This time in the opposite direction of the first call. Someone reported that they saw a car drive by and dump a large trash bag, large enough to hold a body in. A sick pattern was emerging, so I quickly jumped back to the first call and asked them to repeat their address. I couldn't let them know that I was aware of the strange game they were playing. Once they confirmed the location, I looked at the map and found the farthest location in the opposite direction of the one they'd given me. Someone is on the way, I promised. I got on the walkie-talkie and gave Parker and Thomas the new address, the one that I was sure the mysterious caller was actually at. I also decided to stay on the line and tell them what was going on. In our county? That is so weird, Parker agreed after I spoke the whole story. Police will be there too. Hopefully we catch this guy, I said anxiously. I waited for another 10 minutes for them to reach the location. Hey, this is an empty fishing dock, Thomas said over the radio. Confirming, no vehicles nearby. Nothing nearby, really, Deputy Walt said. That makes no sense. Why would they change tactics now? I asked. I got my answer, but not the way I anticipated. I heard the crash of glass and shattering of screams from the front of the building. I jumped and dropped my headset and ducked for cover. Outside in the cafe, someone has driven their car directly into the window, killing at least 4 customers and injuring more. I crawled to the headset and demanded all of them hurry to the dispatch building. I looked toward the burning vehicle, trying to see who was behind this reckless violence. This final savage act had ended their life, I realized, as I saw their bodies slumped over the wheel, their head bashed into the glass. I ran to get a fire extinguisher and shouted for the survivors to evacuate. Everyone was standing in the rain watching the cafe burn when Parker and the others arrived. The next day, the medical examiner identified the attacker. That name. It sounds like one of the older dispatchers, back before there were budget cuts, Deputy Herschel told us. Later, they found notes at the person's home, detailing their attack and how they took advantage of our small-town 911 system to plan their attack. All because of being jaded by the local government. It's given me a lot of sleepless nights to think of how they manipulated me and the others. I'm thankful it's over now, and a vote is coming soon to determine how we can refine our emergency system. I plan to speak about this experience and beg legislators to adjust our laws and keep this from ever happening again. I still feel shaky when I answer calls, worried another madman is out there. It only takes a spark for rage to become an inferno.